Hey guys, welcome to the Billion Boys Part 2.
Part 2, Episode 2.
Yes, sir. Alrighty, so today we got a pretty interesting topic for you guys. It's called What I Wish I Knew at 18. And, before we get into any of this, if you are thinking, you'd rather read this instead of listen to it, we're actually offering free notes for the first 2 weeks after this episode comes out. So go ahead and pick those up either at our website or email us at billionboyspodcast@gmail.com.
Yep.
And then let's just dive right into it.
Alright, so you were 18, and even if you aren't 18, come back when you are because I'm going to let you in on a little secret that us adults know. So, basically, the moment you turn 18, the best course of action you can take is pull out all of your money from your checking account and go to the nearest 7-Eleven and put it all into lottery tickets because eventually you're going to win. That's just how it works.
That's just how the system works. So you're basically guaranteed to win at least a couple mil, and from that you'll be able to buy more lotto tickets and just keep
Bro,
building up.
shut up.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But seriously, we are here to put you on a right path so that, you know, you might be on a better success path than buying lotto tickets. And the worst course of action you can take is buying lotto tickets. So please don't do that.
Honestly, the worst course of action you can take is doing nothing.
That's kind of true. Buying lotto tickets is pretty bad though. So
No, that's up
don't
there,
do that.
100%.
Don't do that one either. Uh, all right. So what do you wish you knew at 18, Rocco?
I don't know. I'm only 19. I don't gotta think about that.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I don't know. There's a few things that can come to my mind of what I wish I knew at 18. I was 18. I was like 17 like 6 7 months ago. So I don't have a ton of experience of being 18, but there's a few things I can think of like I wish I wasn't so stupid with my money.
I
That's
wish I
like
wasn't so stupid in general.
I think that's how I look back at myself from like 2 3 years ago. I'm like, "Wow, I was just a fucking idiot." Like to be honest with you, I was just screwing up everything possible. But I feel like I've personally came quite a ways since even 18, which was again not long ago. So let's kind of dive into like what exactly those are. The way I see it, there's really two like main portions of this is like you got a mindset portion, and that's all the mental stuff, the things you're saying to yourself, your thought processes, and then there's like the actionable things, the things you have to physically do. And so I guess we should start with the mindset portion, don't you think?
Yeah. No, I think they're both equally important, but the mindset portion really changes the way that you think about this kind of process you're going through being an 18-year-old. So it's also another way you can set yourself apart from everybody else and kind of give yourself a sort of an edge. So basically, the first thing we're going to talk about is time. You have a lot of time when you're 18, but you also have no time at all. And like, there's honestly two ways to look at it. So you have lots of time. So you're 18 right now, right? Think about 7 years ago, you were 11.
That's crazy. When I was 11, so that's like what? I think that's like 5th or 6th grade. That seems like so long
Think about how
ago.
long ago that was. That was crazy, but I mean, at the same time, it doesn't feel like a long time, but it really was a long time. So going the other way, in 7 years, you're going to be 25. And, 25, they say, oh, you need to have your life together. You need to have a stable job, be looking to have a family, start getting your life going, settle down, stuff like that. But in reality, there's no deadline for getting your life together. You're not going to get an email saying, oh, yeah, no, you didn't get your life together. You just turned 25. Yeah, we're going to have to kick you out of life. It's not how it works. That's not how it works.
That would be the craziest thing. I feel like then at that point, then you'd have no time. But I guess the second way to look at it, so the first way is you got lots of time. That's reality. 7 years, 7 entire years from now, you're 25. At 25, no one's got their life figured out. So you got 7 years to figure out your life. On the other hand, people think that there's no time. These social expectations of, oh, you got to be married at a certain age. You got to have a job at a certain age. You got to do this at a certain age. That's just a bunch of bull crap that, honestly, fuck social expectations. You got a lot of time. That's what I'm trying to say. You got 7 years until you're 25. You're only 18 years old or maybe 19, somewhere in this age range. You got a lot of time, and you could honestly you could screw up for the next 10, 15 years and still turn out wildly successful. You have a lot of time.
Yeah, you could lose all your progress up until now and be completely fine. If you have $0 in the bank account, which I know some of you listening do right now, being an 18-year-old, trust me, I've been there. You're still completely fine. Like, you can go dead broke, lose your job, and be failing school, and still have time to turn everything around and be on top. It's crazy. This is like one of the only times in your life where that's actually true. So you have a lot of time, but at the same time, you got to think about how you can be strategic with your time, because no matter how much time you have, if you waste it all, you waste it all, and you can't do anything to get that back. Time is the only thing that really can't be bought, can't be created, you can't get more of it. It's honestly the most valuable thing in the world.
It is. And I think that's what a lot of people kind of forget about. I mean, yeah. Everybody kind of thinks, "Oh, I got all this time," which you do. You have a lot of time, and you can screw up multiple times from now for the next 10 years and still be just fine and just well off. But at the same time, it's something that's always ticking away. Every second you live, that's a second less that you have.
Yeah.
And that's a scary way to think about
Yeah,
it.
no, it's a scary way to think about it. You don't need to be extreme about, you don't need to obsess over losing time and stuff like that. But like I said, just be strategic with your time. So the best way you can do that is honestly start now. You can either say day one, you can either say one day I'll do this, or it can be day one
And
of
you just
doing
go
this.
after it.
And you can go after it. If you keep saying you're going to do it tomorrow, it's never going to get done. I know you've heard that before, but in reality, that's honestly how it is. I know if you've procrastinated with school, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the difference is that when something has a due date, you scramble to get it done when you know the due date's coming up. With getting your life together, working out, uh, just improving your financial situation, there's no due date on that. There's no due date on that. So if you live your life based off of due dates and do all your work when the due dates are coming up, then those things are never going to improve. That's just how it is.
It's true.
You got to take action immediately.
Exactly. And the other thing is being strategic about your time now is hugely valuable. I mean, yeah, even when you're 40, start now. Start now because you know what? You still got time and you still can turn things around. And if you go after them right now, first off, you're going to succeed much quicker and you're going to get all the crap out of the way. And honestly, putting it off, it just does no one any good. And it definitely doesn't do you any good. But right now, at a young age, you're compounding your time. All the time you spend right now on something like a business, that's compounding over time. You now have more time that you can spend in that business developing yourself.
And this time is honestly more valuable because we talked over this before, but the reason this time is so valuable, another reason, is because we have minimal responsibilities right now. Like,
Very few.
think about what you have: school, maybe a sport or club, job.
Significant other.
What do you have besides that? Do you have to put food on the table? Do you have to, I don't know, take the kids home from school?
Pay child support.
Pay child support? Like, pay
You got
bills,
nothing.
taxes? You really don't have a lot of responsibilities right now, but you have a lot of time. So, what you do now is going to greatly benefit you in the future. Your future self's going to pat you on the back thinking about what you did now. Or it could be the other way. Your future self could hate yourself now if you chose to waste that time and not do anything. It's called regret, and that's not a good thing to live with.
And stop wasting the time. I mean, this is the biggest thing is that I wish I knew is just stop wasting the time battling these stupid little decisions.
Yeah.
If you think about it, our entire lives are just us arguing ourselves in the head. Like I saw this thing, I mean TikTok's just huge now, but I saw this thing on TikTok and this lady, it's her husband talking and she's basically going out to the garage. She's looking at the cars and she's like, "Oh, I want to take the blue one." 15 minutes later, she comes back in and she's like, maybe I should take the silver one." Goes back out, looks at the cars again. "Oh, maybe I should take the red one." Oh, like, why spend all that time? You just waste 30, 40 minutes picking what stupid car to drive instead of working towards your dreams, doing something that's useful. So stop battling the decision of, do I start now or not, and just do it. There's really two types of people in this world. There's dreamers who just think about what they want to do all day, and then there's doers who dream it, but then they do it. The question is just, who are you?
Yeah, who are you? Which one do you want to be? So, yeah, I mean, we kind of touched on this a little bit. We've I'm not trying to repeat ourselves, but really we're just trying to cram this down your skull whichever way we can, because it's so important that really needs to be emphasized on. So just be okay with failure. When you think of failure, you think, "Oh, I messed up. I wish I could go back in time and change
Huge.
that." But no, when you fail, you actually get better. I know it doesn't seem like it, but like there's a saying, "What doesn't kill you makes you stronger." I know it's cliche, but it's honestly true. Because think about it: if you mess up and in the future you're in the same situation, chances are you're not going to mess up again because you're going to remember how much it sucked messing up the first time.
It's so true. And I think it's just because there's a negative connotation on failure. But the reality is you got two outcomes when it comes to failure. You either learn or you just give up and try, like, you just call it failure. Those are the two only things. So if you take it as a learning experience instead of just letting it knock you down and be like you just give up, if you just take it as a learning experience, you're never making that mistake again.
Yep. Yeah. So there's a million failure to success stories. You can look up. There's tons of them. So I mean, just an example like Thomas Edison, Abe Lincoln. There's a ton of those. So the quote by Thomas Edison, he said that I haven't failed. I just found 10,000 ways that don't work.
And if you think of it like that, I mean, he he literally sat there and 10,000 light bulbs didn't work, or 9,999, and then that 10,000th one, that one, it worked. And dude goes down in history. Like, failure, yes. Did he fail over and over? He said he didn't, but he failed over and over and over again. But the truth about failure is he learned over and over and over again. Oh, this didn't work. This did work. This made this happen. Oh, I can combine these two. Like, that's all that it is. It's about trying stuff, see what's working, see what's not working, plugging in the stuff that is working, and just you keep on going. You're never failing. You're always learning.
As long as you don't let it knock you down. If it knocks you down, just get yourself back up, because it didn't knock you down as hard as you thought. It's honestly just your mind playing tricks on you, overreacting. So pretty much the moral about time is you have a lot of it, but don't waste it.
It's true. What's another thing you wish you knew at 18?
I guess I need to just follow my dreams.
Oh, I love this one. This is literally what our entire podcast is about. All right, so what is the meaning of life, Rocco?
42.
Yeah, it's not that simple.
Oh, no. I thought I had it figured out.
Yeah, you usually don't figure out what it is. Now, the meaning of life, no one really knows. You can go look it up, like what's the meaning of life, and some Reddit posts will probably pop up and say some just ridiculous things. The the thing is nobody knows except for you. You know exactly what the meaning of your life is. It's because you have dreams. And dreams are the meaning of life. Each person, they have this unique dream, and that's their purpose in life, to pursue that dream. And why do you think a lot of people, they don't know what the meaning of life is? Because nobody's following their dreams anymore.
Yeah, if you're basing what you're supposed to do in life off of what other people think or what somebody else said the meaning is, then I'm going to promise you right now, you're not following your real reason, because nobody can tell you what the purpose of your life is. Like, nobody can do that. They have
No.
no idea to fully understand what you're supposed to do. And if you don't have it figured out right now, that's completely fine. You just gotta trust your gut. Listen to your gut, what you really want to do deep down inside. Most of the time, it's gonna be right.
It is.
And you're
If
gonna
you
be
just
best off following that.
exactly. I mean, that is your meaning of life. I know that, everybody's like, "Oh, you have a dream." And then you probably look at yourself and you're like, "I don't know what my dream is." You do. You just have never really thought about it. If you sit down and for the next like week to 2 weeks, you just sit down and you just think, "What's my dream?" I know for a fact that within those 2 weeks, it's going to come to you and you're going to be like, "Oh, okay. Awesome. That's my dream." And you're going to be pretty freaking pumped about it. Like
Yeah.
if you can sit there and say your dream in the mirror and you don't smile, more than likely it's not your dream.
Yeah. No, I remember coming home from school thinking about stuff like that. Just have a big old grin on my face.
It's true. Like once you figure out your dream, even just figuring out, not even pursuing it, I feel like my life's been happier.
100%. Yeah, you have a better sense of fulfillment.
Direction.
Yeah, direction, fulfillment.
I don't
It
know.
really makes you feel like you're doing stuff that's worth it. So,
Dreams are just our keys to success in life. That's the truth of it. And society, our parents, our peers, and just about everybody else has been told to dream, but then they're told like, don't dream too big. Like if you come up with this crazy idea, people are like, no, dude, you're dreaming too hard.
yeah, they always say it's always a double standard. They're like, "Oh yeah, follow your dreams, but hey, I don't know about that. I mean, maybe don't do that. Think about playing it safe. Let's talk about risk here." No.
Fuck
No.
that.
No.
If you can dream it, you can do it. That's just I can't even tell you how many people I tell my dream to, and they look at me and they're like, "That kid is smoking crack. He's stupid as hell. He's unrealistic." I can't like everybody tells me I'm unrealistic. But we said this in the first episode. We'd rather be unrealistic and not live up to that than shoot for something like normal and way overachieve it.
Yeah. What's the point of blowing a goal out of the water if it wasn't really your goal in the first place?
It's true. And our dreams are just how we escape this rat race. You're excited to wake up. You got no boss. You're no longer trading time for money. Like, that's the things that really do get you hyped up. And I know that gets everybody hyped up because, I mean, society's made you think, oh, have your dreams be like, you got to go work for someone. I know for a fact that nobody's dream is to go work for someone else because then you're not actually living your dream. You're living somebody else's dream.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with working for somebody else. I mean, most people do it. Most people do
A
it,
major, yeah,
and they end up just fine. But I mean, as long as your dream is to work for somebody and just trade time for money, then that's completely fine. Go ahead and do that. If you can achieve your dreams by doing that, go ahead. But if you really want more, then doing that is just going to end up taking you in a different direction, leading you further away from where you want to be.
it's true.
So, yeah, I mean, I guess the moral is just follow your dreams and don't give up on them.
Never give up on them. Ever.
Simple as that.
It's true. All right. Now we get to a part that I've been wanting to talk about since we brought this up, and that's learning.
Knowledge.
Knowledge. Dude, you got to be a sponge for that stuff. And I know that every single one of you, the second we said learn, your ears shut off because you're like, hell no, this isn't school time. This is me listening to a podcast time and not learning about crap.
Yeah, as soon as you heard the word knowledge, you're thinking of that YouTube ad with Ty Lopez, and how it's just gonna be another scam to get me to
That's exactly what I
join
thought.
a course or something like that. No, we're really here to teach you how important learning actually is. All right, forget everything you learned about school. Forget everything you learned about anybody that said, "Oh yeah, you need this degree." We're not
Forget that.
talking about that type of knowledge. We're talking about being a sponge and taking in everything you can, because the more you take in, the more you're gonna be able to use it to your advantage in the future.
And I mean, the truth is we live in an information society. Information right now is the most valuable asset in today's world. And the more you know, the more prepared you are. And we're not talking about learning like you got to remember this dude's birth date and the day that he died for history class. We're not asking you to even come start doing stuff like that. That's memorization. That's not learning. Learning is having experiences, understanding something to a greater extent. That's what true learning is, not this bullcrap that we've been taught in school. And almost. I mean, don't you agree that almost everything you can learn for free?
Yeah, no, literally almost everything you can learn for free. Just you're 2 clicks away on a Google search to learn everything that you need to learn.
Except maybe rocket science. That one maybe a few more Google clicks to learn all of
Yeah,
that.
that one might take a couple clicks, but besides that, yeah, you can pretty much learn whatever you want. Like we have billions of search results that can come up instantly talking about pretty much any questions you have. Like you can get multiple sources of information. You got videos, you got articles, you got interviews, you got anything you want to know. You can pretty much just find it on the internet, and
It's
it doesn't
true.
cost anything. So yeah, you got that. You got books. Books are
Huge.
huge. They're huge.
And the easiest way to like understand what a book's saying, like, so say I read a book and Rocco reads a book, the way that we think about that book and the things that that book says to us are completely different. No matter who reads it, everybody comes out with something different.
It's like a piece of art. Like it's up to the interpreter.
Exactly. And so you got to read books and then you got to talk about them with people because that's how you like get all the knowledge from that book. So we're kind of we're kind of thinking about it, just starting like a little book club type of thing. Let us know your
I know it sounds stupid. I know it sounds really lame doing a book club. Like,
but
come on, who wants to do that?
yeah,
But
exactly.
honestly, like when you think about it, it's really just a way to like get the most out of your time of reading. Like if you're reading and you don't get the most out of the book,
Then you just wasted the money on that book because you're not learning every lesson from it. And on top of that, like getting someone else's opinion, you may be open up to ideas that you could never think of on your own.
yeah,
What if that next idea is like your next big business idea?
exactly. Like you never know. It's just another stream of information you're getting in when you're getting it through someone else.
Exactly. So yeah, it sounds a little bit lame. I'm not gonna lie, it does sound lame, but at the same time, like let us know your feedback or if you want to be part of our book club,
Yeah.
let us know. And if you got a better name for it than book club, please let us know because that sounds lame too.
What
So
about like association,
the KA,
the KA,
the KA,
Khan Academy?
Khan Academy. All right, getting away from that because I hate Khan Academy. I mean, you got books, you got Google, but then you got podcasts, and this is becoming something that's growing quite a bit lately, and that's kind of the reason that we decided to do it because it's a way to reach a lot of people, and that's our goal. So obviously keep listening to our podcast because every single episode we're dropping just as much knowledge as we have on you guys, and from every episode you're going to be able to take away something valuable that you can implement in your own life. But I mean, again, don't just take one person's word for it. Like, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Same thing with learning. Don't just listen to our podcast. Listen to the Hustle and Flow chart, Gary V, or just, anything in the field that you're interested in. Go look that up on Apple Podcast or Spotify or wherever you're listening to this at. Pretty guaranteed that you're going to find something in there.
Yeah, you're gonna find something you like. It's like when you're looking through Netflix trying to find something to watch, you end up looking and looking and looking, and nothing looks good, and you pick just something random, and you're like, wow, if I just knew that this was going to be good from the start, I would have not wasted all that time looking for what to watch. It's find something that you like and listen to that, and you'd be surprised how much you can get out of it.
It's true.
So, yeah, I guess the moral for this is learn everything because it's going to pay off in the future. Like, I promise you, if you learn something now and you're like skeptical, not skeptical about when you're going to use it in the future, you're going to be surprised when you actually end up using it. And you're going to be thankful for actually figuring it out beforehand when you actually need to know it.
It's true. So learn everything you can now, because again, just like the time, it compounds over time.
Yep.
So, and then another thing. This is another thing that we've been thinking about a lot. When we were thinking of this topic is surrounding yourself with the right people. And again, this is one that's crucial when you're at a younger age, especially during this age, because right now we do have a lot of time. We're I mean at the top of our lives, we have the most energy right now than we've ever had before, while having as much opportunity as we do.
Yeah. Yeah. No. There's a pretty popular graph where when you're young, you have a lot of time, a lot of energy, no money. When you're an adult, you have a lot of money, a lot of energy, no time. When you're retired, you have a lot of money, a lot of time, no energy. So, if at any point you can get it to where you have all three, say you're doing pretty good.
And right now is going to set you up so you can. I mean, it's possible to get that money right now. It is 100% possible to become a multimillionaire at 18, 19, 20 years old. 100%. But the main thing, like, we're not going to promise you that you can do that by just being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to surround myself with the right people. What we are saying is you're more likely to set yourself up so when you are an adult, you can have that time.
Yeah.
It's that simple. So surrounding yourself with the right people, look, you probably heard this saying. You're the average of the 5 people you surround yourself with. I know I've personally heard it like a million different times, but the one thing I want you to do is go ahead and take a closer look at your life. Who are your 5 people? You may have more, I mean, obviously you have more than 5 friends. You may not. You may keep your circle small, but who are the
Think about the 5 closest people in your life. Think about how they've impacted you, how their opinion has maybe altered some of your decisions, and just think about really if they've had a net positive or a net negative impact on your life.
it's scary to think, but at times I know for a fact that the 5 people I was surrounding myself with, it was having a huge negative impact.
Definitely. Same here.
And just think about how much impact that has on your life. And I think that all of you are going to start to be able to see that it's true. And one question to help you ask if they're helping you in the right direction is think to yourself, are these people the people who are going to help me achieve my dreams? And if that's a no, maybe you're due for a new 5.
Yeah, I mean, we aren't saying ditch your friends, but what we're saying is that the 5 people closest to you have a bigger impact on you than you think. And
Huge impact.
this is your life. It's your dream, and no one should stop that from happening. You shouldn't let one person's disapproval stop you from continuing what you want to do. Really, like, who cares what anybody else thinks? Like, it's your life.
It is 100% your life, your dream, everything. And you're letting that one Debbie Downer be like, oh yeah, that's not a good business idea. Imagine if Steve Jobs, he had one Debbie Downer that walked in and said, yeah, don't create Apple. And then we just didn't have Apple. Think about how crazy that is. What if that's your business idea and you just didn't even know, but Debbie Downer down the street just goes, yeah, don't do that.
Missing out on huge, huge opportunities. And Yeah, no, it's pretty sad how that works, but honestly, there are people in your life that don't want you to succeed, and they may be really good at hiding it, but honestly, it's true.
It is. But, you know, the big thing is not like we're not saying, oh, your best friend is going to just drag you down or something just because they don't want you to be chasing your dreams the way that you are. What we are saying is just be intentional with who you put in your life. Just search for those people who are driven, they're like-minded, they're going after big dreams. Put those people in your life. Those are the people that are going to be like, hey, they're going to check up and make sure you are following your dreams instead of checking in to make sure you aren't. So, a good way to do this is, just networking, going to like masterminds and all that kind of stuff. I've met some great people through that. Getting a new job, you meet a ton of people, especially if you join a company with a really great culture. Um, and then another way is join our community. So if you go to our Instagram, we got a little bio in there, or just visit our Patreon, and you can actually join our community. And all the people that sign up for it, they're obviously going to be pretty driven, like-minded people. And so we're just trying to create a community of people who, they're going after their goals. We want to create that community of people checking in on each other to make sure and hold each other accountable to the things that they say they're going to do.
Yeah, and we can't promise anything right now, but we are going to be setting up a Discord soon. So that's going to be another source, really just bouncing ideas off each other, uh, sharing success stories, sharing failure stories, just really stuff to motivate you to keep going. So that's going to be something in the future. We're setting up a Discord.
Yeah. And then one big thing that I want to say about this before we jump to a different topic is the one thing I like to do when I walk into a room, I'll look like to the 5 people in that room and I'll be like, all right, am I the lowest person in this room? Am
The
I
lowest person?
the lowest person? And by that I mean, am I the stupidest person in this room? Because and that sounds horrible, but at the same time, when you're the lowest, you can only move up. You're only going to average up.
That's true. Yeah.
And so you're going to average out and get above some of those people. So pick 5 people that you're like, I wish I had this person. You wish that you had all their lives. Because the thing is, you're honestly going to average out and become better than some. Your life is going to be better than some of those people's. Because you're going to average out.
Yep, that's just how it works. So, yeah, I mean, be the lowest in the room. When you're lowest, you can only move up. And just be intentional about who you put in your life. Because some people don't want you to succeed, like I said. Some people do. Just make sure you figure out who's who, and you should be good.
Yeah. So that's all the mindset stuff. Some of that was actionable, like you can take some of those actions and like look into your own lives. But this is the stuff that we're getting into where it's like you can just go ahead and pull up the notes, click on the links and get started literally right now as we're speaking. And you get to do something today that's going to set you on a better path. So this is why we saved it to the end, because this stuff's really important. Some of it you could start today. Some of it is going to take you a little while to develop over time. But yeah, so talking about some actionable things that we can do. What are we going to start off with, Rocco?
Say we start off with jobs. So, if you don't have a job, I guess the best piece of advice I have for you is get up off your ass and go get a job. You're 18.
You're 18, dude.
So,
Go get a job.
Listen, jobs suck. Not gonna lie, can't change that. But I mean, there's some things that you can do to get a better job. So the first thing you can do to get a better job is to get a job. Get one that maybe even sucks.
Jobs that suck. This is huge because jobs that suck, they literally change your life.
Yeah,
Like,
it makes you realize to like, all right, I'm getting paid minimum wage for something I hate doing.
and you can
Wow.
barely make ends meet with you can't make ends meet on minimum wage at this
Yeah,
point.
you realize that there's people that are living off of minimum wage, and you're like, how are they doing this? This quality of life must be horrible.
It is.
It makes you realize that, yeah, no, I need to do something about this. I need to change this. So, most people's first jobs, it's going to be something simple. It's going to be, they're not really picky. They're going to look for anything. So, it's going to be something retail, fast food, you know, lifeguarding, manual labor, maintenance, stuff like that. So whatever it is, it's going to improve your job in the future because it's going to give you experience. So, I mean, let's talk about the qualifications for a job. So there's knowledge, there's experience, and there's degree and certificates.
Yeah,
So
that's pretty much covers it.
that's pretty much all it is. And the more you have of one, the less you're going to rely on the other two.
It's true. So if you have that degree or if you have that knowledge and experience, like that's gonna really weigh on that decision of do we hire this person or not. But
Yep.
really, I mean, going back to jobs themselves, there's really two types of job: either work for someone or you're self-employed. We're not here to preach one or the other. If you work for someone, you have everything laid out in front of you. You know exactly what to do day in, day out. You walk in, clock in, do your work, get out of there. On the other hand, you're self employed. You really don't know what's going on ever. But, you know, 8 out of 10 millionaires in the entire world, every 8 out of 10, they're self employed. Just let that sink in.
It's 80%. That's vast majority right there.
That's a
So,
huge amount.
yeah, I mean, with working for yourself, like, no one's there to pay you except yourself. You really have to put in a lot of work. In some people's situations, that's not an option. Some people, they just don't have the resources to do that. But, I mean, that's always something you can work towards. So, yeah, like we're saying, when you're 18, you haven't had a job before, don't be picky about what you're going to get for your first job. Just get anything you can. But your second job, look for something that you're going to get more than money out of it. So, I mean, what should you look for in a job? I mean, knowledge, experience, money, like all that stuff is going to get you one step closer to getting a better job and getting one step closer to your dream. So, I mean, always be looking for this thing. And I know it's easy to say, get a better job. Where do you get a better job? I mean, sometimes you really gotta look, and it's not just gonna fall in front of your face one day. It's not just gonna pop up. You're not gonna have an employer come to your door and be like, "All right, you're hired." No, you gotta really look. So, I mean, ways you can look. Your school will have a lot of times they'll have internship opportunities that they'll send out. Employers will send out to the schools and they'll hand it to the students. That's how I got my job, my internship. So that's one way you can find it. Build a LinkedIn profile, connect with some people, maybe find something new there. And sometimes, it actually will come to you. Sometimes you'll get employers sending stuff in the mail to college students, or you'll get an Instagram DM. I've actually got a job off an Instagram DM. So, I mean, it is possible, but honestly, just look around and make sure you're getting something more than just money out of it for your second job.
Yeah, that's huge because I mean, you kind of noticed it, what you should look for in a job, knowledge and experience, those directly correlate to the qualifications, the knowledge and experience you need. So that's simply preparing you for the next step in your life. So when you get that second job, that's what you're looking for is you're looking for someone that's going to better set you up for the future.
Yeah.
And I mean, the moral of all this is just don't settle for less than what you're worth. You know, don't settle for that normal because you aren't normal. You're unique, and
Yeah.
that's how it is.
You should be moving forward, not backwards.
Exactly. And now we get into some really fun stuff.
Yeah.
My favorite part.
Hold on to your seats here. We're going to be talking about investing.
Oh, yeah. So, one thing I want to mention before we talk any investing. Do not take our word for investing.
Don't take anyone's word for investing.
Absolutely not. Everybody, I mean, make your own opinions, your own trade yourself. Everybody's got this speculation and they're all always calling out stocks. Oh, buy this stock in 2020 if you want to become a millionaire. I see that scrolling through TikTok like 4 or 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Like,
No, that's not the way to do it. And just real quick, we're not going to be talking about all forms of investing in this episode. We're going to dive deeper into certain niches of investing in future episodes. But right now, we're just giving a brief summary of stuff that you're allowed to do now
at
that you're
18.
18 when it comes to investing. So we're going to be talking a little bit about stocks, a little bit about retirement funds.
Yeah. So, another thing is, with stocks, the market, it's a risk. all investing, it is a risk. It's volatile. You can lose all your money in one day, and no one's going to feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely no one.
No one's gonna feel sorry for you because the people that aren't losing are winning on there.
Yeah.
If they're winning, you're not gonna feel sorry for the people that are losing.
It's true. Now, just make sure that's clear in your head. It's a risk. It's not guaranteed that you're going to make money. It's not guaranteed. I mean, it's not going to just swallow up all your money, more than likely. That's not usually how it works, but it is volatile, and you can lose money and you can make money. So this is just one option of investing. There's so many, and we're going to dive into a bunch of different ones in future episodes. But I'm sure you're thinking to yourself, like, how do I trade though? So the very first step in trading is you got to find someone that you're going to trade with, and these are called brokerages. Now, some of them charge like fees and crap like that. What I personally use is Robinhood and E-Trade because those are two that are first off free to use. Robinhood actually gives you free stocks, so that's actually really nice. You get free money right off the bat getting the app, and then E-Trade's just really easy to use, and it's been around for a long time. Um, and all you do is you literally go onto your phone, you search Robinhood in the App Store or whatever. If you're using Android, like I'm just sorry for you, so I'm only going to talk about Apple. So go to the App Store, get that Robinhood, download it, and that's literally all you do. You're going to fill out like all this stuff. It's going to ask for like a social security number. It's going to ask for like your name, your address, all that kind of stuff. And then it's going to have you set up like your bank account to it so you can put money into it, all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to go too in depth because you'll figure it out on your own. So now I'm just going to go on to the tips about investing.
Yep. So first off, first tip we got is we're not going to give you any tips because you need to find them on your own. No one can tell you how to invest 100%. You can get advice from some people, but you can't take that advice 100% to heart. You got to take that with a grain of salt. The only person that's going to be able to teach you how to invest is yourself. You need to read up, research, figure out what's worked historically, what's not worked. Look at investment strategies, look at a whole bunch of different factors because in reality, if you're not confident 100% in what you're doing, like sure, you can be skeptical if it's going to work or not. As long as you're confident that an investment's going to work, usually you're going to be fine unless it's like a random gamble that you're doing because you have an idea that this stock's going to go up when in reality you have nothing about it. You know nothing about it. So really just research, figure out how to do it before you do it.
And also look into the companies because the companies are the stocks.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that simple. So just learn investing. And when you make that first trade, if you're not confident, then you need to learn more. Now, there are a few simple things that we're going to have you understand so you can learn a little bit and take action on it right now. First off, don't day trade. Like, that's the stupidest thing I've ever heard in my entire life. Do not day trade. You will 1% of all day traders make money.
Yeah, I mean, 90% of statistics are made up, but at the same time, it's true. Not a lot of day traders actually profit because they just listen to speculation and base it off of that. In order to be a successful day trader, you really, really have to have a lot of experience or just be lucky.
Yeah, luck has to do a lot with it. Another thing is when you go in to start trading, leave your emotions at the door. Just completely forget about them. I'll share a story from my personal life. When I started investing, right when I turned 18, every single time I'd see the stock go into the red, I'd be like, "Oh crap, I'm losing money," and I'd sell. When it goes red, that is the best time to buy, not sell. That's the worst time to buy, or that's the worst time to sell.
Yeah, because
So
you're losing money at that point.
you think you're losing money, but at the same time, if I would have just checked my emotions and been like, oh yeah, the stock's going to go ahead and return over the next couple of weeks. First off, I'd have a lot more money because I missed out. You can't time the market, and I thought I could, and so I'd sell out, and then the next day I'd be like, oh, maybe I should buy back in, and I'd see it down in the red again, and I'd be like, no, it's not a good time. It's still going down. And then next thing I know, I didn't buy in at the lowest point it had been in like months. And then next thing I know, it's like $10 up, and I just lost out on thousands of dollars.
That's just how it is.
That's just how it is, and that's just how the stock market works, and you got to understand that.
So yeah, I mean, we're not here to talk about stocks for an hour. Stocks are one of the very many different investments you can make. There's tons of investments. Investing is pretty much just using money to make money. That's pretty much all it is. So whether you want to do stocks or other investment options, that's up to you what you want to do. But we encourage you to learn as much as you can about a certain investment option before you start doing it.
Very true. And we'll dive into, at some point we will dive into stocks, so definitely stay tuned for that. But for now, we're going to go ahead and get right on with it and talk about another form of investing.
Which is even actually more exciting.
Even more exciting,
I
absolutely.
can hardly contain myself right now because we're about to talk about retirement.
Retirement accounts. We got this. Let's go. So, retirement might sound fun, but I'm sure that retirement account is something that, you probably at 18 have never thought about ever.
It's just like saying, when you wake up, you think about, what am I going to have for breakfast today? Oh, I wonder how much homework I'm going to get. Or what do I want to do tonight? You're not really thinking about, how much money am I going to have when I'm 65? And am I going to have enough to support myself for the rest of my life?
I'm pretty sure that's never been a thought.
That's not really high up on the checklist, no.
Maybe when I'm like 64 and a half and I'm like, wait,
I actually need money.
I actually need money now. So, why it's important, you do need money to live. And if you think you can go live with no money, like, good luck.
Yeah, and if you think you can just live off of Social Security it's not looking too hot right now, and
it may
honestly,
not be here.
Might not even exist by the time you start using it. So, yeah, I mean, just get one of these accounts that we're about to talk about. So, there's 3 main accounts. There's a 401k, a Roth IRA, and a traditional IRA. And each of these are different because different people in different situations are going to benefit more off of a certain one. And you don't just need to have one either. Like, you can have multiple if you want. So we're basically going to explain the difference between each of them. So a 401k, that is one that your money is untaxed when you put it in, but when you take it out, that's when it's taxed. So basically, there's also one that your employer might match. And if your employer does match, it's obviously you're going to benefit more off of that. But another thing that I need to talk about these accounts is once you put the money in, that money stays there.
For a long time.
Yeah, money stays there until it's time to pull it out, which is when you retire. If you pull it out before that,
huge fees.
Huge fee to the point where it's almost not going to be worth it. You're going to lose all your progress. It's just going to be pretty much a savings account.
Yeah.
And the way this works is compound interest. And we talked about compounding a little bit before with compounding time. It's powerful. It's a powerful thing. Matter of fact, Einstein, the dude that invented the atomic bomb.
The bomb that changed the world.
He said that compound interest is more powerful than the atomic bomb.
He said it's more powerful than anything in the entire world. Like, that is crazy.
Have you seen an atomic bomb explode?
Like, we're just dropping compound interest now. That's it.
Let's start dropping compound interest to be more effective than an atomic bomb. That's crazy. So,
I'm just kidding, but that would be pretty badass. But, so the 401k, that's something that you have when you have an employer. When you're self-employed, when you are employed by someone else, you can still use a Roth IRA or a traditional IRA. However, they're made for people who are self-employed. And there's a little bit of a difference. They're both obviously individual retirement accounts. The Roth, that's the first one we're going to be talking about. So the way that one works is you have these things when you're self-employed called tax deductions. And so at the end of the year, you basically just don't get taxed on any of your money until the end of the year. At which point, say you made $100,000, you can write off a certain amount of that. And you can take that and you don't have to pay taxes on that money for whatever you spend it on. Now, on a Roth, you actually cannot deduct this money, so it's not tax deductible, but when you withdraw it when you're 65 or retired, it is not taxed. So all the money you see in that account, it's your money. And then you have a traditional IRA, which at the end of this year, you could write off $6,000 and you don't have to pay taxes on $6,000. However, when time comes and you see that money in your account, not all of that is yours because it's going to be taxed. Now, these two are so powerful tax tools that they are capped out at $6,000 a year, which is $500 a month. And, you may not have $6,000 every single year to put in, but just a little bit of money will greatly, it'll compound over time. Compound interest is going to really build that up. So putting in $25 today is going to be more powerful than the $25 you put in a year from now. So act like, act like you got a tax on yourself. We'll talk about this in a minute, but just put some money in there and just forget about it because you're not seeing it for a long time. And when you do see it, because that compound is going to be worth a lot more.
Yeah, and just another thing, you said the Roth or traditional IRA capped. The 401k is capped as well. They're all retirement accounts they have a limit on them, and 401k, all of them are more volatile, but the 401k changes all the time. So in 2019, it was 19k if you're under 50 or 25k if you're 50 or older.
Yeah.
And I think now it's 19.5 and 26. So the numbers change all the time. But yeah, pretty much. Let's talk about the thing, taxing yourself. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so the tax thing, there's this story that Tony Robbins tells. There's this guy named Theodore Johnson. So Theodore Johnson, he is a garbage man. Dude makes $14,000 a year. And this guy comes to him and says, "Hey, how much are you of that 14,000 are you investing?" And he goes, "Well, none. I don't have money to invest. I only make $14,000." I mean, if I only made $14,000, it would be pretty hard to invest too. I could understand that.
Yeah, 14,000. It seems like you're pretty much have all your money being utilized right there.
Exactly. You don't have a ton. Now, the guy that asked him that goes, "Well, just like if you got taxed 20%, which is in his case 2,800, if he was just taxed that 2,800, he would just give it to the government and that's it. He wouldn't think twice about it. But he can't make that same exception for himself." And so this guy told him that, and Theodore goes, "Okay, you're right." And so
he could still live off of that much
if he really tried.
Yeah.
So this guy who's making $14,000 took $2,800 every single year and put it in the stock market. When he retired, that money that he had put in over all those years was worth $70 million. A guy who never made over $14,000 in 1 year now has $70 million.
$70 million.
I don't know about you, but I'd take 70 mil.
I'd take 70 mil.
I'd take 1 mil.
If you can get that off of a job making 14,000 a year, then if you're making, the average, whatever the average is,
like 40 something.
40 something, then yeah, it's entirely possible. It's entirely possible.
And people sit here and say they can't be millionaires. Just tax yourself and put that money in. Now I'm sure you're sitting here thinking like, these kids they talked quite a bit about a bunch of different stuff, but how do I pick? How do I pick a plan? How do I pick a retirement account?
And yeah, the truth is, we don't have an answer for that. We can't tell you what to do because it really depends person to person, situation to situation. What we can tell you is what people usually pick if they're in a certain situation. So 401k, basically if you're employed by an employer and they match a certain amount of your 401k, let's say 3%, I would say probably do that because you're getting 3% for free.
It is. Yeah, exactly. You're getting money for free. And yeah, it's going to be taxed at withdrawal, but at the same time, that's free money.
Yeah.
It's that simple. Now, for the Roth and the traditional, there's really one way. The best way to tell is, what is going to happen in your life after retirement. So, if you do plan on making more money when you're retired, go with the traditional IRA. And then if you plan on, not making money, if you don't have any passive income and you're not going to be working after retirement, which is typically what you do because that's what retirement is. But if you plan on not working, go with the Roth IRA because you're gonna want that more. Whereas if you do have a passive income stream or you're planning on working, go with the traditional IRA because that's gonna be better beneficial to you or more beneficial to you. And then, I mean, if you still are like, I have no idea, like, what should I do? Feel free to reach out to us. We will be more than happy to look at your situation and give you our best advice on that.
Yep. So, yeah, I guess the moral for this is just have self discipline. Like, act as if you're being forced to give up that money to someone.
Yeah,
And if
exactly.
you do that, you'll find a way to live with not having that money, and you'll thank yourself so much later when.
When you got that 70 mil,
Yeah,
we're not guaranteeing
we're
it,
not
but
guaranteeing 70 mil, but we are guaranteeing is that you not having to work when you're on a cane.
exactly.
So, yeah, I guess.
That kind of, I mean, there's a million more topics we could go over, but we're nearing the hour mark. I think we'll just wrap this one up because we covered quite a bit. We covered everything from stocks and retirement, having a lot of time, getting a job, like all that stuff. We hope you were able to take at least one thing and implement it into your life. Um, Please go check out the notes because they're going to have all these links of different credit cards, all that kind of stuff throughout. And then it's going to have like retirement accounts and Robinhood. All that stuff's going to be included in there.
Yeah, one thing that you might have heard in other What to Do When You're 18 videos or podcasts is talking about credit. The reason we didn't talk about credit in this episode is because we're going to dive deeper into it in a future episode. That's a different topic itself, and you may be thinking about, oh, credit? Why do I need credit? Credit cards are evil. We're going to talk about that and change your view on that in a future episode.
Exactly. So yeah, just reach out to us if you need any help with anything at billionboyspodcast@gmail.com. And then just go join our community. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And we'd love to hear what you think we should cover next for our next episode. So yeah, I hope you guys took something, and we'll catch you next week.
See ya.